Hey, yo, what's up, guys? Zaid here with another episode of Zaids Experience. Today we're talking about my 6th day of carnivore so far, and I gotta tell you, the experiences that I'm having right now in comparison to the ones that I had in the past 90 days of carnivore are completely different. So come with me and let's check this out. So before we go ahead and start this video, guys, please subscribe. It makes a world of a difference. It really helps me out. It helps everybody out because it lets me know that you guys are actually liking the content that I put out. I do regular videos on the carnivore diet, on my travels, and mostly on just general health and fitness. So if you want to see more of that, please go ahead and subscribe. Now with that out of the way, I wanted to talk about my first 6 days of carnivore so far. As far as this time around, it's been really different in comparison to the first time around. It's quite gnarly actually the way it's changed. I really liked it. I've taken video ever since day one. I've taken my weight since day one, which I will not reveal until the end of this challenge. But I've also taken a video and a snapshot of how I looked just 6 days in. Actually, by the time that you guys see this video, I will be well into the diet, at least 12 days. And the change is dramatic. My girlfriend couldn't actually believe how much I lost, how much weight I lost just in these first couple of days in comparison to the last time. I actually look more defined this time around than I actually did when I ended the 90 days in the past challenge. So just in 1 week, I was able to regain a lot of definition, and I was able to, I think, shed a lot of water weight. It's just crazy. But I'll show all those before and after pictures and videos actually, because I just didn't want to shoot a still, because I know a still can kind of be changed, and depending on who it is, you never know. But with a video, you can at least say, like, hey, take a picture of your iPhone or something like that, and like make sure that the day is secure. That way you guys can see the consistent changes on the week to week. But I'm really happy with the progress so far. I've actually lost at least 3 pounds since day one, at least. So I'm really happy with that. I'm pretty sure not all of it is fat, but I have been running. I have been doing a lot of the other exercises that the doctor has given me for my shoulder, and I've been following up with that. And the main reason why I wanted to do this video today was for 2 reasons. One, to explain the reasons why I kept honey in my diet and Greek yogurt, as well as to give you guys a little look into my life as to what I eat, what I have available, and what I try to usually get. So first, let's start off with the Greek yogurt. I love Greek yogurt. I found out in those 7 months from November up until leading to the first week of this carnivore diet that I don't have a problem with dairy, especially if it's high quality dairy. I tried raw dairy and it's actually not bad. It's not my favorite, I will say that, but I didn't have a problem with it. I actually have more of a problem with heavy whipping cream. So if you guys get the runs after that, but you don't get the runs with milk, I'm not sure how it is. I think it might just be the super high fat content on it that we might have to dial it back on. I can easily get carried away in putting it in my coffee, so I think that might be it. But dairy on general just doesn't do anything for me. And I found the Greek yogurt, especially after having like a big steak, it actually does help quite a bit. It's actually a little weird. I never feel heavy with meat or anything like that, but I did feel even a little bit lighter. So let's say I just had a piece of steak, and then a couple of hours after, I got a little bit hungry for whatever reason. Let's say I went for a run. That usually does it for me, especially since I run anywhere from 3.5 miles at a time to 7 miles sometimes. And that really it doesn't matter how much meat I eat, it just makes me go crazy. After that, if I had another meal, I would usually feel not bloated, but I would definitely feel a little bit heavier. I'm carrying the food. I can definitely feel that I'm carrying the food. Not in any way like eating like a burger or anything like that. I'm not talking about that kind of bloated or heaviness, but I definitely feel the food. If I have Greek yogurt in the next meal, I feel a different kind of lightness in my stomach. I really think it has to do with the Greek yogurt, and I also think that since it's milk, it does have a little bit of carbs in it, so it is a more natural way of bringing carbs in as opposed to maybe eating oats, yams, white rice, which aren't bad, and I found out that my body really tolerates but I prefer to have my carbs in this way. And as I told you guys when I was running, and for all of those of you guys who haven't watched my other videos from me trying to do 3.5 miles every day, I used to do 3.5 miles in the morning and 3.5 miles in the afternoon, which equates to 7 miles every day, which is practically a 10K every day. And throughout the span of a week, it's 50K. So it's quite a bit. So what I'm doing now is I'm only doing a 5K or 3.5 miles every day. Actually, a 5K is 3.2 miles. But I do 3.5 miles because it's just weird leaving it at 3.2, to be honest. I just usually push a little bit more to get to the 3.5, and that makes me happy. But all that aside, I feel that whenever I do that, and plus whatever I have going through my day, I do need a little bit of a push with the carbs. And the best way I found to get these carbs was through Greek yogurt. We all know that it has a bunch of good digestive enzymes. It's dairy, so it packs a good portion of protein, and it does fill me up. So I really do like Greek yogurt, and so I decided to keep it as one of the major staples of this diet. I try to eat Greek yogurt 5 times a week, which is the 5 times that I'm running every week. So that's what I'm doing with the Greek yogurt. Now, for the honey. I know a lot of people may say, hey, but that brings a bunch of extra carbs in. Isn't this supposed to be 0 carb? Yes and no. There's a lot of added benefits to honey, and I think it's one of the most raw forms of carbs that you can get, in my opinion. I really noticed a difference when I first started to try it out on my first 7 miles that I ran whilst using honey and Greek yogurt, and it was just completely different. I didn't feel the heaviness of the carbs, but in an odd way, I still felt that I had the power of having those carbs almost immediately. It was a little bit different. It's really hard to explain, but after a while, like if you really start listening to all the cues that your body gives you, it is really good at telling you when you are tired, when you're not tired. I'm not saying that you can go ahead and feel when you change from one fuel source to another. I think that's just insane. But I think that there is definitely a point where your body switches, and when that happens, you can definitely feel something completely different kicking in, like a different gear, almost like overdrive. And when that happened, whilst I was using Greek yogurt and honey, it was completely different than when I was just using maybe, say, potatoes, rice, or something like that. So I decided to keep honey in this along with Greek yogurt because I thought it made a great combo. I use it right after my workout to kind of replenish all the carbs. That way I'm ready for the next day of running, and I'm also ready for my work, which I think is actually a little bit more priority right now, since I do go to work in the mornings, and then on the afternoons I run, and then I do all my exercises for my shoulders. As you guys can see, I have a shoulder strap here, and I'll explain a little bit more about what this is doing in an upcoming video, so stay tuned. This is shoulder sleeve by Carnivore. It is really awesome. I'm really digging it, and I really look forward to making that review. But yes guys, it did make a major difference, and so I decided to keep those in. And again, just as a little recap of what I do, I get up every morning at 5, very heavy work day, then I run my 3.5 miles, I do my workout, I come home, I play my instrument. Look, I have my instrument right here. I just finished practicing a session, and for all those of you who never played an instrument, or especially a brass instrument, it is very taxing, very demanding, both mentally and physically. I just finished playing, and I'm actually sweating from playing. My heart rate actually went up to 120 from playing, and most brass players can tell you that kind of thing, but that's a completely different story. Then I edit the videos, I do all my other stuff, and I call it a day and repeat, you know? So it's a very demanding day, and I like to live my life at this pace. It's awesome, but I definitely need the fuel. I think I need the little extra help, and I think the honey and the Greek yogurt just really complement this entire carnivore diet, and it allows me to keep it in such a way where I don't feel inflamed in any way. So those are the main reasons why I kept the honey and the Greek yogurt in the diet. Also, both Greek yogurt and honey are very complete sources of energy. I believe honey is like the one thing that has like the complete range of vitamins and minerals. I think it's one of like the only foods. Organ meats, I think, is one of the other ones, especially liver. Liver, I think, is like they call it like the multivitamin of nature. So I really do believe that honey and organ meats are the best thing that you can eat. I do feel a difference when I consume those. And speaking of which, I'm gonna show you guys how I cook my liver, as well as a little extra for you guys. So come with me. So guys, I am at my kitchen. I'm about to make some shrimp and some beef liver. We're gonna be watching the season finale of Game of Thrones just like everybody else. So I'm gonna make some shrimp. It was on sale, so I went ahead and got it. I shelled all the fish and I kind of prepared everything, just kind of left everything set up. The only thing I like to put on my shrimp is some salt and pepper, and that's about it. Every now and then I'll add like garlic powder, but since I'm doing the carnivore diet right now, I really kind of want to keep it as straight as possible. I try not to even add garlic powder, which isn't bad, but if you guys want it for flavoring or whatever, I mean, depends on how strict you guys are with some of this stuff. And then on the other side, I got the beef liver. The beef liver is grass-fed, grass-finished. I get it from this place called Organic Roots up in Temecula. It's a pretty good store. They bring some really good quality products, so if you guys are ever around Temecula, it is super cheap. I believe for like a pound and a half, it was like $6, something like that. For grass-fed beef is awesome. Here in San Diego, I haven't found a spot where I can actually get it that cheap. So if you guys are ever up in Temecula, Organic Roots. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but I like to give the shout out to wherever it is deserved. That way you guys can get some of the deals that I'm getting, or you know, kind of help support. That way these places keep on selling it. Otherwise they'll remove it from the market and then it'll be hard to find for everybody. So, and the only thing I like to add to the beef liver is onions. I've spoken about this in many other videos, and that's about the only thing. That, salt and pepper, and that's about it. I don't need to add anything else. I really like the liver just that way, and with the shrimp and the liver, I think it should be more than enough. So let's get cooking. Now, the great thing about both of these things is that they cook super fast. Liver is done super fast, as well as shrimp. For the shrimp, I like to leave some space in the pan. I like to do it like in 2 big loads. That way the shrimp has enough space to actually get that little char around it. Otherwise, the shrimp is just gonna kind of mush out and it's gonna turn like into a piece of boiled shrimp as opposed to something with a little bit more of a crust to it. So always leave a little bit of space, especially if it's something, just about any food, especially with chicken. A lot of people like to have chicken almost look grilled when they chop it up into fine pieces. So if you leave enough space in between the pieces of shrimp or whatever it is that you're cooking, chicken, steak, it'll char up pretty well. Also make sure that you guys always preheat the pan, and this should be a cinch. It should be super easy. And for shrimp especially, just make sure you guys only go ahead and flip them 1 time. Think about it a little bit like a pancake. 3 minutes on each side should be just about good. And once that's done, that's when I throw in the butter. So I like to have my shrimp with just salt and pepper, but my girlfriend's joining me as well. She's eating alongside with me, and I wanted to do something a little bit different for her. And this also goes for all you carnivores that are not super restrictive of what you guys are eating. I added a little bit of garlic and a little bit of smoked paprika as well, and it just makes a world of a difference. I also throw in a couple of lemon wedges, because who doesn't like lemon? And my girlfriend eats that and I eat the other ones. And as for the liver, I mean, I love it when the liver is just below like charred, but you can really see when the actual onions are charred. It just gives it a completely different flavor. And for the liver, again, it's just salt and pepper. That's all I like to put on it. And I like to use the onions. That's it. Remember, if you guys have significant others, don't exclude them. Try to always offer them the same meals that you are having, but don't try to superimpose them on them, because it's not going to work out. I like to cook for myself, and then I like to cook something special for my girlfriend. Since I'm the one that's always touching the kitchen, I like to come up with small little ideas, and hopefully these kind of work out for you guys as well. So hopefully you guys like the recipe. I like eating my liver with onions. That's about the only thing that I will use that's a vegetable on this carnivore diet. That's like my comfort food. I used to eat it when I was a kid, and I will always eat liver with onions. I like it that way, period. That's the only thing. I eat it once a week at least, and I'm lucky enough to get it from this place at such a cheap price. It's organic, it's grass-fed. I mean, I can't really ask for more, and it's really good quality meat. And as far as the shrimp, the reason why I do both of those types of shrimp, one is for me, because whatever craziness I'm going through, my girlfriend doesn't have to go through that. So I will make a special extra meal for her, but it's not that big of a thing. I just tossed a little bit more garlic, smoked paprika. You can add chili flakes, cayenne pepper, and make it spicy enough. Or she likes spicy food. I love spicy food, but right now I'm trying to dial it down a little bit on that. But I made that specially for her. I don't want to exclude her from what I'm doing. And believe it or not, guys, she slowly started to come to the carnivore side, because she's also seeing both the results that I'm getting, and she's experiencing some of it through kind of osmosis. Since she kind of eats regularly what I eat, she's kind of left a little bit of the carbs just aside, and for me actually not excluding her, she's actually been able to consider this and say, hey, I might just give this a shot. And I think she might start to do the carnivore diet actually, which I'm really surprised about, within the next couple of weeks. So we'll see how that goes. But regardless of that, I always like to cook something special for her. I always like to do something special for her. That way I don't exclude her. That way I don't bring her into whatever craziness I might be doing at the moment. Make sure you guys don't exclude your relatives or the people that are around you. They are a very, very important part of why we're doing what we're doing, which brings me to my other point, that I like to do this carnivore diet, and I really like to put this out there for many, many reasons. Obviously, for my overall health, to experience more of what this entails. Is this really helping me out, or is it I'm just going crazy? But the more and more I go into this, the more and more I find that it's actually helping me out like crazy. I think most importantly is so that I can actually live a healthy life amongst those that I love. So for me, it's very important to live a long life so that I can be with the ones I love. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining me on another episode of Zaids Experience. Please go ahead, comment, like, and subscribe. You guys know the deal. Leave a comment down there. Let me know what you guys allow in this diet. For me, it's onions. That's the one thing I have to have with my liver. Pretty sure some of you people out there like to maybe do peppers on some of your food, because I know people love spicy food. That's like the one thing that I know a lot of carnivores let slide. So what are some of the things that you guys let slide under the radar when it comes to maybe doing a carnivore diet, keto carnivore? What are the things that you let slide? Please leave your comment in the comment section below. But that is it, guys. I'll be bringing you the next update pretty soon, within the next couple of days. So Zaid out. Peace.